SLAB is the first controller designed and made to work with Serato Studio. As a natively mapped MIDI controller, SLAB puts everything from Serato Studio right at your fingertips, so you can stay in the zone without having to reach for your mouse. It's designed to work with Serato Sample and even Serato DJ Pro as an accessory device. But for this video, I'll show you how to make a beat on SLAB in Serato Studio. Let's start with the drums. Hold Shift plus Auto Set to select a genre and we'll generate a pattern from Studio's library. You can always hit Shift plus Delete to clear the deck so you can do your own thing. Let's give it some feel. Set SLAB to strip mode and use the touch strip to quickly dial the swing for the drums. Now, let's look at the hi-hats by viewing them on SLAB step sequencer. Press Shift plus piano mode. I want my hi-hats to sound a bit more human and less programmed. Hold down any of the pads in the sequence and shift where they land by turning the big dial. And to adjust the velocity, again, hold down any of the pads that you want to change, and this time, we'll use the touch strip to dial in those playing dynamics. I can do the same process for anything in the kit, snares, claps, or even kicks to make adjustments to the beat. To get out of the sequence view and back to the full playing kit, press trigger mode. Now that I have my drums the way that I want, let's make the loop longer. Press scene size to extend the scene size out to the way that you want. Here, I'll extend it to 4 bars. And let's add some more variation to the loop by adding in some note repeats. I'll select the hi-hat and hold down the note repeat and dial in the repeat value with the first encoder knob, anywhere from a 4th note to a 1/32 triplet. And I'll record a variation to finish up the drums. Now, let's chop up a sample. I'll create a new scene by pressing Scene Select and tap on an empty pad to make a new scene. Let's navigate the library to load in the sample. With the sample loaded, I'll use Auto Set to automatically chop up and set cue points throughout the sample. If you want to change the Auto Set mode, you can hold Shift and press Auto Set. You can favorite the cue points you like and press Auto Set again to find more. If there are any chops that I don't want, I'll hold down Delete and press the pads. And if I want to scroll through my sample, I'll set Deck Scrub as the dial mode. This way, I can tap on any of the empty pads and assign cue points. I can choose whether I want to tap to trigger or hold down a pad for each chop's playback with the trigger mode button. Let's quickly dial in the frequencies and volume. Press the encoder mode and then go to Deck EQ to shape the track's highs, mids, lows, and levels using these 4 encoder knobs. And now with all my cue points set, I can press record and record in my chops. Now, let's make another scene and load another sample to do something different. I'll separate the sample stems. I only want the melody, so I'll mute the bass and everything else. Press the encoder mode button and select deck stems, and press down on the encoder knobs to turn off any of the unwanted stems. And for the melody stem, I can turn the encoder knob to adjust the level of the stems to my liking. And like I did before, I'll tweak the EQs and the deck volume. Now I want to add bass to my track, so I'll make a new scene and I'll add another sample in. This sample's got a pretty good bass line already, so let's load it up into a new deck and place a couple of chops. And for this sample, I don't want the melody, so again, I'll mute the track stems except for the bass. Now, let's make some minor adjustments. This cue point here is playing a little bit too fast for my bass line, so I'll time stretch the BPM on this pad to make it slower. By pressing Shift and encoder mode, I can adjust the tempo for the pad parameter. bass sounds good, but it needs a bit more volume. So I'll raise the bass stem's volume and add in some hard compression as well. A shortcut for adding in one of Studio's built-in effects, switch to deck effect mode using the encoder mode button. Holding down shift and turning the encoder knob lets you load in the effect for that knob. Alright, now that the bass is done, let's make another scene and play out some ARP notes. Let's add a synth to another instrument deck. All the pads are available in key because playing key is active. This track fit nicely in the mix, I can make some small adjustments to EQ, volume, and also use the touch strip to apply a filter. And lastly, I'll add some effects to the synth. Alright, so now I've got all the main tracks for the beat, but I want some of the scenes to stand out even more. So on SLAB, I'll use the pad effects. SLAB has 4 unique effects types, which you can only access with SLAB connected. You have the wah filter, the lo-fi crush, the inverse reverb, and the pitch loop. These effects types are grouped into columns, with the effects amounts increasing from 25% to 100%, from the bottom to the top. You can use these effects for live beat sets or record them in as automation. And if I make a mistake, I can always hit undo to start over. Now that the beat is finished, I can play around with the overall BPM and key to hear what it sounds like. To do this, press the encoder mode, select deck parameters, and turn the encoder knobs to make the adjustments. Slower or faster, or pitched higher or lower. And that's it. Grab SLAB and bring beatmaking back to your hands. Head over to Serato.com to learn more about SLAB and Serato Studio.